We are almost done with the second quarter of 2019, and one thing is really clear. Truly wireless headphones are getting really good, and they're getting really cheap. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what I think is the best pair of truly wireless headphones under $20. Hey, my name is Mitchell. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about the tech I use. And before we can get into this video, I want to thank everyone that uses my affiliate links. Without your continued support, we couldn't keep the channel going. Also, big shout out to my Telegram community. In fact, I got this pair of headphones because they requested it. If you want to join the community, check out the description down below. Also, one last thing. People have been asking me to put up more written content to go along with these videos because their English isn't as good. And so I'm gonna be doing more written content on my website, and you can also find that in the description down below. I'm gonna try and update it with summaries of videos every 2 to 3 videos. Okay, enough talking, let's hop into the video. Now the headphones I'm talking about today are the QCY T1C, a pair of Bluetooth 5.0 truly wireless headphones. And in my opinion, they satisfy everything that I look for in a pair of true wireless headphones, and they do it at a really cheap price. First, we're gonna get into the design. Overall, the design of these headphones is really kind of simple. That's the best way I can describe it. The construction of the actual earpieces themselves is very similar to that of the Xiaomi AirDots as well as the Redmi AirDots. It's slightly larger than the Redmi AirDots, and the button has a different tactile feel. It's a little bit heavier of a switch, I guess would be the best way to put it. So you have to push it into your ear a little bit further. And that would be probably my only complaint of the actual headphones themselves. The stem of the headphone is long enough to fit in my ear canal, and it provides a great seal no matter if I'm walking out on a busy street here in Vietnam. One thing that I have found really kind of makes the experience of using them more enjoyable is if when I go to change the song or press the button, if I need to do a double tap, which requires me to push it in faster, you can fit your finger oftentimes in between the earbud and the inside of your ear and kind of pinch it without actually removing the seal. And this way you don't put any more pressure on your ears and you don't really change the fit of the headphone on your ear. On the subject of the controls, let's talk about the controls. Ultimately, we're all buying truly wireless headphones because we want something more convenient than a conventional pair of headphones for whatever reason. And if you're not going to bundle excellent controls with a pair of truly wireless headphones, I really don't see the added convenience factor over using a pair of normal neckband headphones or any other Bluetooth headphone. The reason that I want truly wireless headphones is so that I can interact with my phone as little as possible while maintaining a pleasurable listening experience. That's where the TYC are really good. Double tap the right side, fast forward, double tap the left side to rewind, single tap either side to go ahead and pause the song, and double tap either side to go ahead and enter voice assistant. I don't know why all headphones can't have a similar control structure. I love it. Next, let's talk about the design of the case. Now, the case is a little bit different. I mentioned in my first kind of preview video, plastic feels kind of chintzy, but the actual case doesn't feel cheap. And I've been using the case now for a week, and I really like it. I haven't had any issues with the headphones falling out of the case. I haven't had any issues with dirt or lint getting in the case. So I know people had questions about that being a downside to them. And honestly, I don't see a downside necessarily to this specific headphone layout, simply because it makes it easier to clean the area inside of them. If you do get dirt or lint buildup, the headphones are really securely placed in there. And on top of that, you can't potentially break the lid. And I bring this up because the lid of the competing headphones in this price range, being the Redmi AirDots, does feel extremely fragile, and it feels like a breaking point. I would love to see USB Type-C charging on the back of the case, and I would love to see a battery indicator, but those are two things that at this price point, I can kind of accept that they don't have. It does have a charge indicator on the back of the case where you plug in the micro USB cable, but there's no way to activate that to go ahead and see what the current charge of the case is. They have over a 300 milliamp hour battery inside of the case. Each earphone has a 40 milliamp hour battery, and the battery life on these has been phenomenal, which is the perfect, and this is the perfect segue to talk about the battery life. At like a third to 2/3 volume, about maybe 50% or a little above 50% volume, when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm getting an hour and a half in to a podcast, and I only have used 20% of the battery. It is incredible. I have tried to drain these headphones as low as I can with my normal everyday usage, and I've tried even leaving them out of the charging case to see how much battery they consume. And the lowest that I've been able to get these headphones to drop in normal usage when listening to 2.5 hour long Joe Rogan podcasts or Lou Later podcasts has been 40%. And that's with about 3 hours of use. So if you listen to a lot of podcasts, obviously podcasts are gonna probably use less energy than music, but if you're using these for podcasts, you can probably get over 4 hours with them. If you're listening to normal music, look at 3.5 to 4 hours, very comparable to what we have on the Mi AirDots or on the Redmi AirDots. And the case has a 300 milliamp or 350 milliamp hour battery, which should be good for anywhere between 3 to 4 more additional charges. So you're looking at about anywhere between 15 to 20 hours of playback, which in my book is beyond phenomenal for a pair of truly wireless headphones with a case this small. Okay, so we've talked about the design of the headphones, the design of the case, the battery life. Let's talk about latency. Now, latency on these is acceptable, I would say. I would say it's on par with the latency of the Xiaomi Mi AirDots, which would be very comparable because they're both using Bluetooth 5.0. They both use the AAC audio codec. For watching YouTube videos, I find it to be acceptable.
I know I might look a little bit different. I'm trying a different recording setup today, filming at a little higher resolution with just a different setup. Let me know what you guys think of it down below. Now, people have been bringing up that some of their Redmi AirDots say Mi on the lid, whereas other ones Xiaomi's strategy to go ahead and enter into more markets and not necessarily come off as a cheap, fake Chinese brand, which is something that they do have to be careful.
And the latency on them is worse than the latency on the Redmi AirDots. Now, the reason why is because the Redmi AirDots utilize the SBC audio codec, whereas these utilize the AAC audio codec, which is more processor intensive. Next up is video games and playing PUBG. PUBG, I noticed the lag on them was tangibly more than what I had when watching YouTube videos. Next up is one ear mode. Actually, someone in my Telegram community just messaged me about that. And one ear mode on these is supported. Now, it's supported the same way one ear mode is supported on the QCY T1 Pro, Redmi AirDots, and Xiaomi AirDots, where you have to go out of your way to go ahead and pair the left one by itself and make sure that the right one connects to your device first, and then the left one will connect to the right device. I will have a full tutorial on how to do this on my channel, and I'll make a playlist for you guys, so link to that when it goes up right up here. But the one ear mode, it is offered, it is functional, and it works fine. In regards to the actual convenience of it, they don't compare with the ultimate convenience that you have of the Xiaomi Mi AirDots Pro, but those are 3 times the price. So they do support a mono mode. It does work the same way all these other headphones with mono mode work, and I'll have a tutorial for you guys on that when I get around to it. Now, before I talk about range necessarily. I want to let you guys know I'm going to be doing a massive like 5-way budget headphone comparison video, and I will be giving away a pair of the QCY T1Cs in that video. So if you want to know more about true wireless headphones or budget true wireless headphones, make sure you're subscribed to my channel with notifications so that you can go ahead, see the video, and participate in the giveaway. The range on these, I have noticed that the range on the roof and the direct line of sight, which is kind of the way I test all of these headphones normally, it is okay. Here we go. We using the QCY headphones. I have my tablet set up maximum Bluetooth transmission. Okay, this is where some of my prior headphones had issues. Okay. Okay, when I go with the left, okay, the right one, I'm still good with reception right now. But if I make it go through my head, it starts to stutter. Okay, it's breaking up pretty bad. Okay, this one's over. I'm assuming that there is some radio interference that I have up on the roof of my building, but that kind of simulates real world usage of these if you were using them down on the street. I will say that going through walls in my apartment, the range is pretty good and they do a great job penetrating through walls, but I didn't see any real advantage to using them in direct line of sight versus the Redmi AirDots or the Xiaomi AirDots. Both of them have pretty comparable range, and the QCY T1Cs maybe have an extra 2 to 5 feet or 1 to 2 meters. While we were up on my roof, of course, I conducted a sound mic audio quality test, and I will play it for you guys right here.
Okay, at this point we are walking outside. A little bit of wind. We got a couple of cars, a couple of small motorbikes passing by. Here's an audio test. You can expect similar performance with the call quality test.
As you can see, the sound quality with them is okay. It's not great. A big part of that has to do with where the microphone placement of these headphones is. Because it's not on a stem facing your mouth, it has to just pick up ambient sound. So there's really no way for the headphone to kind of isolate the sound that is coming out of your mouth. So kind of keep that in mind when using these. If you need something that's really good for phone calls, the Xiaomi AirDots Pro is a lot better, and even a fake pair of AirPods is going to be pretty decent. Next up is sound quality. A good pair of headphones at the end of the day is going to be limited by how good the sound is. If they don't sound good, you're not going to want to use it. And if you're not going to want to use them, they might not be the best buy. So how do these sound? Well, this is the part that's kind of a mixed bag. They don't sound amazing. They do sound better than the Redmi AirDots. And I think a lot of that has to do with the Bluetooth codec. The sound that I have out of the QCY T1Cs is very bass heavy. It sounds like a first generation pair of like Dre Beats when they just had a ton of bass. They have a ton of bass. Their middle and highs have less definition in those frequencies. If you listen to a lot of hip hop or electronic music, the QCY T1Cs will blow you away with the full and rich bass, with the really, really good mids. If you listen to a lot of rock or metal or jazz, which is a more mids and highs oriented genre of music, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. When listening to AC/DC with these, when you're listening to like drum solos and stuff, the sound becomes kind of more distorted. You start to lose some of the definition in the individual instruments at the higher end. And while they don't sound bad, it's just not as impressive as when you listen to electronic or hip hop, which for me, that's totally okay because most of what I listen to right now is hip hop. So while the sound might not be great for everyone, if you listen to one or two specific genres of music, the sound will probably be impressive for you. Again, especially when we consider the fact that these retail at under $20. It's time to wrap this video up now, and these are some of my closing thoughts on the QCY T1C. The case isn't perfect, but I think it's going to be very durable, and I don't think it's going to have problems for many people. The design of the headphone itself, while having a capacitive, touch-sensitive area for the controls, would clearly be superior. The physical controls do offer a good amount of tactile feedback, and you are able to skip and control your listening experience using. If you're looking to change the volume here, you're gonna be disappointed because you're gonna be left using Voice Assistant, but Voice Assistant is quite responsive through these headphones. The sound quality of them is good, and for most people, it's going to be completely fine. It definitely is better than other kind of just cheap earbuds that you might find. And for the cost, the convenience, and the overall user experience, I can't think of an area that I would want these to be improved on. I really think that these are the best you're going to get at such a low price. And I have to go ahead and crown these my perfect pair of budget wireless headphones in the second quarter of 2019. Okay guys, this wraps the video up. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys can participate in the giveaway I have coming up. And until next time, it's been Mitchell coming to you from Hanoi. And if you want to see more videos about Hanoi, living in Vietnam, etc., go ahead and click up here.